My subject today is 23 years after stage 4 cancer, which is colon cancer. And my original idea is to talk about my life after retirement, which include those 7 items: serving community, enjoying grandkids, younger than me, giving speeches, doing wood carving, teaching early at University of Cincinnati. Early stands for Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at UC, working at PARC, participating in forum discussions. And this is the last talk on this trip. We are leaving for the United States tomorrow morning. And this is the last and the 5th talk I've made on this particular trip. And about the 23 years after colon cancer, originally Dr. Bai of Jiao Tong University sitting there, she asked me to do it. I said I would talk only about my experience after retirement. She said, no, you include your cancer experience, then I'll be your agent, free of charge. So she put my schedule on Facebook and received a response. Quite a lot of people in favor of this. She has this much to say. She said, although stage 4 cancer, you can read that, may not be cured in all cases, but life after stage 4 cancer may still be lived by patients as excitingly as for, say, 23 years, as in one case. And she used me as that particular one case. So I'm here to tell you about it. Because of this subject, very sensitive, so I thought it would be good for me to make sure to update my physical condition after the cancer. So I asked my oncology to order CT scan and MRI test for me just a month or 2 ago. Both of them turned out to be okay. No sign of cancer after 23 years. So I'm real. I'm okay. I can talk about it to you. What happened was, when I was 55 years old in 1994, one August week, Sunday, we had a party at a restaurant. A neurosurgeon friend came into the restaurant looking at me, facing the door. He came right to me and said, "You have lost a lot of blood. You look so pale." I said, "I don't feel a thing." Why do you saying that? So he examined the inner part of my eyelid. He said, that was a Sunday evening. So tomorrow go to see your family doctor to see what he had to say. So I did. My family doctor examined and found out that our hemoglobin level for men is around 15, 16. My hemoglobin level had already dropped to 5.7, 2.4, as low as it supposed to be. And then barium sulfate X-ray showed that there is a tumor in the colon. It's about the size of ping pong ball. So at that time, the doctor said from the appearance of that tumor, he knew that was cancer, no doubt. So we immediately go to the general surgeon, and he scheduled my surgery time. And he actually, I think, he saved my life. That he is Dr. Zhong in this picture. I asked for it just recently because of the talk in Taiwan. I wanted my audience to see who saved my life. Just this is Ted Jones. And he sent this painting to me. He said, the photo of my portrait in 1994. That was the year I got the cancer. The same year as our surgery, he said, Ted Jones. So I wrote back and said, very nice, and thank you for sending me the portrait, which is remarkably true to life. I remember the face. He looked just like that when I was in patient's bed waiting. Remember I said, it's my turn to sleep before I was given the general anesthetic. The reason I wrote that, I wanted to remind him if he remembered what I said before I was put out to sleep. Because the night before that, because of my hemoglobin level being so low at 5.7, usually it ought to be higher than 8, that the surgeon would feel free to operate on the patient. But my level was 5.7. He said, you have to infuse 4 pints, at least 4 pints of blood. Otherwise, I won't be able to do anything for you. So he might worry that I'm from Taiwan, I'm from Oriental. So I might have some concern about receiving others' blood in my body. I said, no, don't worry. Do anything you see fit. And then at the end of the conversation, he said, oh God, I'm going to go to bed now, so I'll feel good, feel wonderful to operate on you. That's why I was referred to. So this time, it's my turn to sleep. Then I passed out. 2 hours later, I was up with severe pain around here. So, are you in this field? Do you know where your column is? Column. Okay, see that orange part? We have columns about usually 4 to 5 feet long in the body. I did not know until I got colon cancer, although I had been working at the medical school. All right, this is where the tumor was found, right here. Okay, and then let me continue. I'll just point out small intestines behind the colon. Stomach is here, liver is up there, and these two are the lungs. Okay? This is a section of colon. Most people have so-called polyps. You and I, we all have polyps, most likely. Okay? When it's only first found, it's not cancer at all. It's benign and stay there, and the physician usually just remove it, burn it, and remove it. Take care of it, that's the end of it. But if you don't do examination, you don't know you have polyps in your colon, and let it grow, it's not shifting, it's just showing the size of its growth. If it grows to this size, penetrate half of the colon wall, then that becomes cancerous, and they call it stage 1 cancer, right here. And if this has a chance to grow even larger, about to come out to the colon wall, it's referred to as stage 2, stage colon cancer, and grow even bigger, stage 3. And then if it's bigger, and also the cancer cell has a chance to spread to other organs. In most cases, colon cancer cell will go to liver first, and then the lungs. So in my case, the cancer cells have already gone to the liver. That's why, in my case, that's stage 4 cancer. Initial stage 4, because they found only, not that bad, only a small region in the liver. This is extended state, very dangerous. This is near the last possible, difficult to cure. These are cancer cell lesions, all right? And occupy almost all area of the liver. Can you imagine our liver look like this? View from above, there are 2 lobes, and view from below, it looks so complicated. When my lesion in the liver was not found by any examination before the surgery, the surgeon only suspected that I might have some lesion in the liver. So he had to open all this up by inspection. Indeed, he found this, Dr. Jones, he found a cancer cell tumor, little one, in the liver. So he surgically removed it. And at the end of that, my liver had no visible cancerous tumor, but nobody can be certain whether the cancer cells are still in the blood, in the lymph nodes. And that's why the cancer patient has to undergo chemotherapy afterwards. My chemotherapy, they use 2 drugs. One is leucovorin, another one is 5-FU, at that time 1994. I don't know what they use now, but at that point, they used 2 drugs. They put in this IV bag and put, they call it 人造血管, put a port under the skin. That's where they inject the solution. Instead of going through this vein around in the inner part of the arm, they put this in here. So I have 2 free hands, so feeling so comfortable. Okay? The protocol is something like this. For 10.5 months, every week, every Tuesday, I had to have 1 treatment. The leucovorin for 2 hours, dripping drop for 2 hours. At the midpoint, then they inject 5-FU. And the second half of the leucovorin, wash it to the body. That's 1 treatment, a day, a week, once a week on Tuesdays. I did that continuous for 6 weeks, 6 treatment. Each treatment is 2 hours, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. And then after 6 weeks, I got 1 week off. Felt so nice, oh, nice. But soon, I will have to go another 6 weeks. Same thing, everything. Every time is the same treatment. 2 drugs, 2 hours. And then 1 week off, another 6 weeks. This is the midpoint, so I got 2 weeks off. After 2 weeks off, I was really reluctant to go back. But I had no choice. The doctor said, you have to come back for another 20 weeks. I thought, okay, that's so doing all this, a total of 42 weeks. 20 plus these 2 weeks in the middle, 42 weeks is 10 months, 10.5 months. After that, all the tests have been okay. No cancer cell in my body until 2 months ago. I don't know what tomorrow, but it's okay now. The side effect of this is the skin will turn dark because the sun, that has to do with the drug, is in my body. So after several months, my skin started to turn dark, very clearly, just like this. In a color photo, would look something like this. Look dark skin. That is the side effect. In addition, there is another strange side effect. I'll show you. You won't believe it. Here, the area of the fingernail shrank into half size. This is normal. During chemotherapy, the area of fingernail is decreased to half the original size. And after chemotherapy, gradually, it would grow back to this original size. Pictures is something like that. This is before. This is not my finger. My fingers are not so pretty. So this is the size, the normal size of the fingernails. During chemotherapy, it becomes this, half of this. One thing, I forgot to look at my toenails. So to this day, I don't know what happened to my toenail those days. Just forgot, just didn't pay attention. I just kept looking at my fingernails every day. I forgot all about my toenails. It's so close. All right, because of the injection is through this port. So two hands are left free to do something. I chose to do wood carving. That's how I start with wood carving for up to now, 23 years now. Starting in that chemotherapy room, I have free hands. I start carve. And in those 2 years, I carved a fish for my first daughter, an angel for my second daughter, and an owl for my third daughter. These were not down meant to be saying goodbye to them. It's my hobby. 23 years hobby. So, and that's why I started carving for 23 years now. The place we do carving is at the senior center where I live, senior center, and that is to look at the dead head and carve my wife. Usually, I happen to be one who likes to do things like this. This is topiary in front of my house. Here is Kermit the Frog. Here is Mickey Mouse, right? And here is an elephant, 2 eyes, 1 nose, elephant. I also like to make characters, wooden characters, for church. Okay, so when they erect this sign, we were invited to take a picture with the church people. This one, and I made this for them. This is my class. At that time, my wood carving class. We met from 10 to 12 on Wednesdays, every Wednesday. At that point in time, I was the youngest. That is about 2006. I was the youngest among the group. Now, these people have all passed away. And now I become the oldest in the class. And these are the display of our work when we earn some ribbons and some cash prize. And those days I also carved piglet, put the piglet on tripod. And in Chinese we call it 亮相十足, picture perfect. But because it's a pig, I call it picture perfect. And then I carved more pigs. Remember 2012, President Tsai's first campaign. I carved 3 piglets, 3只小猪. That raised a lot of money for her campaign, but she lost that campaign. But I carved these 3 and auctioned for $1,000. Yeah, regretfully. Okay. Now I carve more piglets and put that on the wooden section and name it family picnic instead of family picnic. Now the visitors at the carving show suggested, why don't you call it Congress in session? Well, in Taipei, that will be 立法院开会. Okay. So after that, I decided to do differently because there are so many people, so many friends carving group who have been carving animals, fish, whatever you have. So I decided to do likeness of rebuilt portrait of friends and family members. So nobody would compete with me. Only one. I would be the only one doing those things. The first relief carving I made, a complete one, is the first couple in 2003. That's President Chen and his wife. The design, we have a design here. There is a heart. lovers' hearts. Here is the map of Taiwan. This is northern part of Taiwan, and this is the whole Taiwan area. It's a love for motherland. Here is the banana flowers. I don't know how many people of you who have ever seen banana flowers, but it means that Taiwan's budding democracy. And here's the logo of International League of Human Rights. This picture was taken at Taoyuan Airport. He was on his way to New York to receive an award from International League of Human Rights. His wife, First Lady, came to say goodbye. Next day, this picture was in the newspaper all over Taipei City. I happened to be in Taipei, so I decided, look at it, I said, oh, this is a good subject to carve. It turned out to be so. And then I duplicate this wood carving to bronze, 40 copies of bronze. This is from that. And this bronze was at one time used to celebrate the birthday of the president's mother in Taipei City, and it was auctioned for US dollar $1,000. If you want to buy this one, it's no longer available. Sorry. Right? That just happened to be that. And then I found in our family album, a younger at age 20, was photographed in Tokyo, Japan. When I said, oh, I have to carve this one. But she is not a Japanese. So I asked her to put on a regular Taiwanese girl's dress, like so, and carve this. This is this one, this dress. And turned out to be, I make it to become my wife. She's sitting there. That's a picture taken at age 20. This one, in Tokyo, Japan, a long time ago. I did not see, honest, I did not see this picture before we got married. Yeah? All right. And then my granddaughter came, the first one, and there's a picture like that. I said, oh, I have to carve this one. And turned out to be this. So then I went a step further. In addition to the family members, I carved the Taiwanese native writers, 本土文学作家. I select two of them. One is in the States, Wu Mingqiang. He lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Another is Li Qiao in Miaoli. Anybody knows Li Qiao? Please raise your hand. Nobody. All right, Li Qiao, very famous novelist. Okay, this one. And this one was the first time I won the Best of Show first place among 150 pieces, competition pieces. And we've all seen all these carvings. This is first place, this is second place, third place, and third place. These are my 4 granddaughters. And then next thing is that I decided to carve 3 old friends. Su Ming. Anybody know Su Ming? Oh yes, right here. Just one. Good. Okay. He is 100 years old. He had just had a celebration of his 100th year 3-4 weeks ago at Tailan Genan Boulevard. Tailan Genan Dadao. Oh. The second one is Professor Peng Mingmin. Anybody knows him? Same person too. Or two, okay? The third one, I bet don't worry, not many people know him. Zhong Yiren. Zhong Yiren. Okay. So I decided to carve all of them because each one of them has a very good story to tell. That's why I carved them. They are still, at this age, 3 of them are still very active in Taiwanese politics. Quickly, he was exiled to live in Tokyo, in Japan and China for many, many years. until in early 19th, he was allowed to come back to Taiwan. Professor Peng was arrested and he was exiled to the United States for 20-some years. And Zhong had been living in Taiwan, but he was involved in so-called 228 massacre. He was a young man. He organized a group trying to fight against KMT, Kuomintang. Okay. Now this is Shi Ming for his 100 years birthday. I didn't have time to write an article, so I decided to use this picture I already given to him and said 100岁大寿生日先生之风山高水长. I have limited in my English. I don't know how to translate this guys into English. Sorry about 先生之风山高水长. Very good one for the birthday. All right. When he was young, he looked like this. Today, he looks like this. Just a few weeks ago. And Zhong Yiren, that is, I have not finished it. Each one took me about 2 years. So he ought to wait for a while. And that is when he was jailed in Taichung and Tainan. He sketched his face and looked like this. The other day he is still driving at the age of 96. He took my wife and me to 228 Park in Taichung. And this is Professor Peng Yongling. The design of this is because he published a manifesto and was arrested in 1964. So I put this Cell Salvation 1964, his ideal, which has not been reached yet. So I put Jade Mountain here, and then quickly thought of, this is Suhua Gonglu, very dangerous Suhua Gonglu on the east coast of the island. And then I knew that there's a poem by Robert Frost. It's The Road Not Taken. And then there's a book by Scott Peck, The Road Less Traveled. And I quickly related to these two items, and I put it, the road must be traveled. Oh, that is nicely. Future scientist series. I'm going to carve these two. One is Professor Liao, who had passed away. He had been in Chicago, University of Chicago, for a long, long time. And this one, because everybody knows him, he is from this university for a master's degree. Before he went to study, yes, he and the Nobel Prize winner. He got the Nobel Prize in 1986 in Taiwan University Chemistry Department. I was 2 years behind him. So I thought in 2 years, 1988, it ought to be my turn. Up to now, nothing has happened yet. Okay, I don't have to learn the wood carving. It's all self-taught. But for clay marbling, I have to study from a teacher. Here is a master clay marbling teacher. These are all students. I'm one of them. I did only one piece of work, this one. She is a nude model. She is a University of Cincinnati art student. And the only work I have done for clay model, and the only work I'm interested in. I don't want to do something except the nude model. Obviously. Well, that's true. I never did anything besides that. All right. Just to be fair to my wife, Judy, this is her work, mosaic work. We work up at the same senior center in Cincinnati, Ohio. And this is her work, all more her work here These are two of my 4 granddaughters taking care of the exhibition. All right, now from now on, I'm going to talk briefly. How much time do we have? 2:30, right? Is it 2:30? Okay. I'll try to be brief and quick, because they are there, so I have to talk about it. Serving community, what I mean is that at a shopping center where we live, going to work and back, always, I thought this place has to have a bookstore. That was back in 1990s. There is no Amazon.com and nothing yet. But so we opened one. My wife and I co-own a bookstore. We used to look like this. This is an open day. That is Judy sitting there. This is me with very dark hair. And the bookstore is right here in that shopping strip. This is inside of the magazines and books. And serving community, serving country. This is my third son-in-law. This one. He is a West Point captain and was sent to Afghanistan during 9/11 period. He came home. We made this sign for him, Captain Dave Love. Welcome home from Afghanistan. That is my third daughter, his wife. This is not their daughter. This belongs to this one, second daughter. Okay, it's just like. So in my family, there is somebody who went to fight in Afghanistan. Enjoying grandkids. We have 4 grandkids. By the way, we have 3 daughters, all girls in the family. No boys except sons-in-law. I always kid them. You didn't do any better than I did. All girls. So that is a joke in the family. So these 2 is the daughter of that Afghanistan guy. These 2, the daughter of the second daughter. And my first daughter does not have children, who lives in Denver, California. Denver, Colorado. Capital C appeared to me first, so it's California. Okay. Okay. There are so many stories all this time. It's been a long time. So I don't have time to cover all of them. Very interesting ones. Now I pick this little one, this one, called Molly. Molly Love. I'll take a story, interesting story about this kid, what she could do at age 7. My study, my desk usually looked like this. And when Molly came to this upstairs, I could hear her steps coming upstairs. But as long as she reached the floor, the upstairs, she always started to crawl. Try not to make any noise for me to notice. And then she would crawl along the hallway, came into my study. But she studied of this is the hall. I could see her coming this way, but she could not. She thought I did not see her. So when she reached about here on my side, she would say, "Oh, Grandpa, surprise!" And I would say, "Okay, surprise, surprise." I pretend I didn't see her. One day, she stood up. And her eyesight is about this level. She saw this book. This book is this one, entitled How to Read a Book. When she saw that book, she immediately asked me a question. She asked, if one does not know how to read a book, how can he read this book to learn how to read a book? And that she asked me the question. I was so surprised. Oh, this kid is something. How can she read a book? Read this book to learn how to read a book. He cannot read a book in the first place. Okay, kids can surprise you most of the time. In addition to that, in my study, I have a box which contains dictionaries. And when she saw this dictionary, 字典 dictionary, she drew 2 words similar to this. Surprisingly, very, very good. For a kid who has never exposed to Chinese characters in any way, she drew the words not right. She did not write because see, there is a gap right here. Apparently she just drew, straight and draw. There is an extra stroke right here, right? So I was curious, so I picked up the dictionary and asked her to write these bold-faced characters. It turned out to be something like this. See this east. Look at that. She started to draw squares and so on and so forth. And this word and that word is the same, but to her, of course, different. This one could be this one. Now this one just became a turtle. Oh. Interesting. Okay, giving speeches. I have given more than 40 speeches now in Taiwan over the last, since 2006. Mostly on Taiwanese phonetics and musicality. Taiwanese language is very musical. Try to learn it before you learn Chinese Mandarin, all right? Because it's a good place for you to learn Taiwanese. Okay, this is a book I published, 母语踏脚行 长篇自传小说, that's my name. Taiwan Language, an acoustical journey. It's a fictional autobiography published by Chen Wei. This is Lauren, the baby in the wood cabin, 11 months old. I was once invited to participate in this 100th anniversary of Professor Ogawa Naoshi, a Japanese professor who published the first Taiwanese language dictionary. That's way before World War II, when Japan was here. Japan occupied Taiwan before World War II for 50 years. Okay? And they pay my airfares and lodge and food, everything. And talking about Taiwanese language, I like to use this picture to make a point, to show the changes in Taiwanese languages since 1895. 1895 was the year Taiwan was ceded to Japan after the Sino-Qing, just the China War. Okay, here are 4 generations of 4 sisters. Just happened, this family has 4 generations of 4 sisters. First 4 sisters are these 4 grandmas. The older 2, of course, they spoke Taiwanese before Japan came to Taiwan. Then after that, the younger 2 went to Japanese school, so they started to speak in Japanese. So at that time, back in 1900, those years, in Taiwan, people spoke Taiwanese and some Japanese. Okay? After they have the daughter, the 2nd generation, of course they still spoke Taiwanese. And then because most of them have already gone to Japanese school, they spoke Japanese. And then a little Chinese during or before World War II, when Chiang Kai-shek came to Taiwan. So Chinese started there, but very little. And then the 3rd generation, that is a daughter of this generation, they still spoke Taiwanese and started to speak Chinese and some English. And their daughters, this last generation in the picture, speak Chinese and English, and then about to forget Taiwanese now. At least when they speak Taiwanese, they speak with a very heavy accent. Surprisingly, people in Taiwan speak Taiwanese in that with accent. All right, let me tell you what this photo is about. This is my grandma and her 3 sisters. This is my mother and her 3 sisters. This is my oldest sister and her 3 sisters. My oldest sister does not have enough girls to be put in this picture, but my second sister, this one, happened to have 4 girls. So they are put here. So very rarely a family will have 4 generations of 4 sisters. That can be together and save this photo for me to study Taiwanese language changes. Okay, now I'm okay. Teaching early at UC. early stands for Osho Lifelong Learning Institute. That is the equivalent to what we have in Songnen 学校, Changqing 学校, for the students 50 years or older. I have been teaching there for 7 years. My subject is Taiwanese history. I teach American old folks Taiwanese history. In this picture is Judy. It was talking about Taiwanese culture. And this is a banquet. They usually treat us. We are all volunteers. We don't get paid to teach the institute. Osho Foundation, the foundation was founded in 1977. The headquarters is in San Francisco. Resource Center is at Northwestern University near Chicago, and so on and so forth. And that is the foundation benefits programs in integrative medicine, Eastern, Western, traditional, alternative, body-mind medicine. And here is the program. There are 49 states in the United States which have this program, and over 120 universities. Non-credit, that's what you wanted. No assignment, good what you do. No grade, those everybody passed. For adults over age 50. And then, for example, spring quarter of this year, there are more than 1,000 students who register for courses that they wanted to take. And there are 177 courses for them. For example, culture, philosophy, creative writing, science, and so on and so forth, history somewhere. And there are 8-week courses, classes in a quarter. The registration fee is $80 for each quarter. And that's a registration fee only. If you want to take the course, you have to pay $5 extra. And classrooms, they rented the churches. For example, this building, they use 2nd and 3rd floor classroom for this teaching. Now the history of Taiwanese history that I taught, in each quarter I went through the timeline from 1545 to today. I'll briefly describe this for you. Why 1545? 1545 is the year the Portuguese sailors went by Taiwan and saw the island, beautiful island. So they said, oh, Ilha Formosa. That's why the name of Formosa got stuck since 1545. For the next 80 years, there was nobody who went to Taiwan, the island, to do anything. And
That's for 8 years. After that, the Dutch came. And after that, the Koxinga, the Ming dynasty, Zheng Chenggong, came to defeat the Dutch. And after that, Qing dynasty defeated the Ming, Zheng Chenggong, Koxinga. And then after after China-Japan War, Japan occupied Taiwan because of the Shimonoseki Treaty of Peace. The Qing dynasty ceded Taiwan to Japan. And after World War II, then we know better now, Japan was forced to leave Taiwan, and Chiang Kai-shek's troops came. They were defeated by Mao Zedong in mainland China, and MacArthur allowed him to take over in Taiwan until today. Prehistoric one thing I'll mention just one. In Taichung, Zhongke Boguan Science Museum, there is a Dr. C.H. Zhang, who 2 years ago reported that he discovered an archaic Homo sapien erectus in Penghu. You don't know Penghu. That was thousands of years ago. That was reported only 2 years ago by Dr. Zhang at Taichung Science Museum. Things like that, we usually think that, oh, that was discovered somebody who is nowhere near, maybe some other places. But no, it's in the Taichung researchers did. And I know that because he is my nephew, my second sister's son, who earned a PhD in England. Okay, Formosa, that shows that the Portuguese, on the way to Japan, see, they occupied Macau those days. On the way to Japan, they saw this island so beautiful, so they called it Ilha Formosa, meaning beautiful island. And those days, Taiwan, Formosa, was one of so many islands enclosed by these white lines here. Philippines, Hawaii, Easter Island, New Zealand, New Guinea, and so on and so forth. Sumatra, Madagascar, Java, Malaysia, and that's collectively called Austronesian. Okay, Taiwan is in the north. Now it's 15 something. See those people, how much they look alike. This is Moto, Australia, Sumatra, Malaysia, New Guinea, Hawaii, Madagascar, Java, Philippines, East Island, New Zealand, and this Taiwan. So many tribes, they all look alike. Okay, then the Dutch came, they set up in a short 38 years. They built 2 forts. One is Fort Provincia, one is Fort Zeelandia, and that is this Tsikano. Have you ever been to Tsikano in Thailand? That's what we are talking about. And one is Amping Kubao, Fort Zeelandia. And the Dutch taught the local people how to write in phonetics. Those are the Bible. This is the Siraya tribe, this column. This is Dutch writing. This is Siraya, they taught the tribe writing. This is Fujian, Olo writing. And then Koxinga came, defeated the Dutch. This is a Dutch flag, Holland. That flag, and this is Ming dynasty flag. And then Koxinga did Frederick Coyet for the Dutch people. That is the change of the era. And then after that, after Koxinga died, they call this so short of time, they call it the Kingdom of Dongning in Thailand, basically based in Thailand, the Qing general, Navy, Shi Lang, came to defeat Kingdom of Dongning. It's Caucasus area. And then that's the start of the Qing era for how many years? Instead of 80, 38, 21 short years, Qing dynasty was in Taiwan, or in some way related to Taiwan. Although those days they occupied only western half of Taiwan, not the whole island. For how long? 212 years. And even so, and that time, people started came from mainland China, Fujian and Canton. And that's called Fujian and Canton. Nowadays, if you go to villages, you see, most likely you see houses like that. That was left over by Qing dynasty people, or their graves, or their farmers' tools. And that is most famous. Pigtail. The Qing dynasty insist that Taiwanese people have to save pigtail, just like what they do in China. That's it. And also this small fish, palm fruit, starting young, and they just wrap it, the fruit, and that will not grow until 8 years. Look at this. Little one, 3 generations, all have palm fruit. That's the only tiny about this. It's long. And they walk like this. I don't know what's that for, but. And then they built the Taipei city from 1874, 1879 to 1884. Dongmen, Ximen, Beimen, Nanmen. That's what the Taipei city. There are 4 gates around it. Okay, and then what is this? Japan occupied end of after Qing. Although Qing dynasty have been in Taiwan, related to Taiwan for 212 years, they still consider Taiwan is no place to keep. So give it up, nothing to lose. Save it, nothing to gain. That's why they ceded Taiwan to Japan. Although 200 years of this relationship, they still consider Taiwan is a place which could be given away to Japan. Then there was all Japan-Sino War in this area in 1894. And of course, Qing dynasty was defeated by Japan. And the Treaty of Shimonoseki, Japan insisted that they ought to have Taiwan. And here is near the end of World War II. There's a bombing of Taipei City. If we ask students today who came to bomb Taiwan, most likely students say Japan. But Japan was part of Taiwan, Taiwan was part of Japan. How could they have come to bomb Taiwan? So, just American B-25 came to bomb Taiwan before World War II ended. So, this is the period I have just described to you. And then down to after World War II, there are 3 years which Taiwan is in anarchic, exploited, chaotic states for 3 years. Almost no government state. And at that time, there was a civil war in China, the Republic of China against People's Republic of China, a civil war. And those days, partisan, who are they? This is Sun Yat-sen. His wife is the blue one, all right, second daughter of Song. Here is Chiang Kai-shek. His wife is the third daughter of Song. And here is Kong, His wife is the first daughter of Song. They are all family members, actually. They are occupying important places in the government. And Chiang Kai-shek, his wife, Song Mei-ling, in 1943, her reputation reached the highest point at U.S. Congress. She made a speech at U.S. Congress, and even congressmen cried, remind her that how come there is such a woman so very nice, and they could have been defeated by communist China. And she got a lot of money from the U.S. Congress. This much, how much? The money she got back then, in today's money, I calculated, is 80% of total budget of education in the United States. The United States used that much money to help the Chiang Kai-shek's government, but they still lost to the communist China. And today, I'll end the talk with this picture. Today, originally this picture is about Iran, and Israel, and USA. And he said, nice to have you back in our corner. He meant to say to USA, and Israel look, wonder why they are all doing that. But today, if I change Iran to China, and change Israel to Minjindang, PPP, and change USA to KMT, Kuomintang. The story is the same. China will be saying to KMT, nice to have you back in our corner. Also, they used to be enemies for so many years. And that kept EPP wonder why on the side. Okay, this is my life in retirement about working at the park. This is me, and this is my 5-year certificate. You know why I work at the park? I like it, that's why. I work in this booth, for example, and collect the money from the people who come to the park. $3 a day, or $10 the whole year. And some of them would rather pay $3 a day and pay it 4 times, $12, instead of paying me $10 for a whole year. I don't know why. The Americans are known to be very poor in mathematics. No, that's not for sure. Yes. This is the part of the park. And this is part of the park. Oh, after 2 years working there in springtime, I started notice that, look at this, the low bushes have green leaves first. When these tall trees are still like the winter time. And after several weeks, even a month or 2, then these tall trees start to grow leaves. Look at that, this is about 3 months apart. Then I noticed that, oh, in the nature, trees knows to take care of the young first. Suppose they grow leaves first. All the leaves will keep the sunshine from reaching the small ones, and they'll will not have chance to survive. See, the nature works so nicely. And also, at the park, this busy park, they usually have many cars parked in the parking lot. And I always noted that most of the time, there are 2 spaces left empty, because these 2 spaces are handicapped parking. And although all the parking spaces were taken, nobody would take advantage of these 2 spaces. They are very law-abiding citizens, the United States University. I worked a park just like this one, work as this. He was a speech and drama professor at Audubon College in Ohio. In 1950, he turned 70 and was forced to retire The next day, the very next day, he applied for a job as custodian at the college gymnasium. They hired him on the spot. It was a heartwarming story that gained national attention. The Sunday magazine headline, its article, he traded his cap and gown for a mop. This is a mop to forward. He didn't retire. He retreated. But nobody noticed me working in the park. All right. Participant in forum discussion in the United States for the people from Taiwan. Most people are divided into two groups only, clearly. One is for Chen Shui-bian, the President Abe, and those people are usually against Tsai Ing-wen. And those people who are against Chen is usually for Tsai Ing-wen. That's how it is now. Remember this Taipei University and the Taiwan flag was thrown into the basket. That caused people to be very angry just a few months ago.
And also there is a singing group from China who came to University of Taiwan, National Taiwan University, and the university was called, what they call it, Taipei Taiwan University. It's not the formal name, but because people from China want to be there, and then they would not allow them to call it national. Okay, so the authorities, you are not outraged, you are not paying attention. 如果你不愤怒，你真不够关心。That is people. Luckily, the National Taiwan University students fought back. Okay, something like that. 中国新歌声连同柯文哲市长敌我不分，统战台大。And the students did not like it. Dante, the Italian statesman, political theorist, poet, language theorist. In hell, the hottest places are reserved for those who remained apathetic in a moral crisis. Just like the apathetic. I wanted to tell you this for the longest time, Charlie, go to hell. So those who remain neutral have to go to hell. So I like this. After the Taipei incident, there are young men who brought these two Taiwan flags, which were thrown into the basket, to the top of Jade Mountain. And democratic life, you say, be a voice, not an echo. That's we ought to be living in a democratic society. We don't follow anybody. We just wanted to say what we want to say. So I translate these two short lines into 因为事情小明，发生皆常，不为当道权贵，传声护短。That's the end of my talk. Thank you very much.
So any other questions? No, I have a question. I would like to know that, can Dr. Wang actually give us some advice how to live healthy, right, and happy? It looks like you're living a very happy life in the retirement.
Well, I was very happy before I got ill.
Really?
So, but I don't know why I got, even though I got ill, I got cancer. I don't know why. That's the part for that Professor Pai to answer, because I have already talked a long time ago. This is the part I have nothing to say. It just happened.
It just happened?
It just happened.
It just
I'm a
get-
doc, and I'm not a doctor, so I don't know why. I'm not a Christian. I cannot say, oh, it's God's will. I can't say that. I'll be lying if I know to say this much. No, I don't know why. That Professor Bai knows why.
No, I remember you say you wrote in, I don't know when you, anyway, I remember you say if you wonder what is the reason, it could be because of the time when you were in Tennessee and then you lost your job, something like that.
Oh,
I think that's
okay.
the,
yeah, we are, well, that's the reason I got ill, that possibly, that's why I thought the reason. Because my tenure was not granted, although I have every kind of a positive response from departmental committee, college committee, whole school grievance committee, all unanimous. But see, the thing is that my chairman was against it, the chairman, and then the dean of the college of medical school was against my tenure, and then the provost was against it. The department promotion committee was all for it, college was all for it, so I went to the whole school grievance committee, which had 9 members on the committee. We sat there, I had a lawyer, the provost of the school had a lawyer sit beside him. We went through that for 7 hours. It was conducted as a courtroom hearing. And then, after that, I waited and I waited. Waiting is a very terrible thing. It could cause you a lot of trouble physically. Maybe that is the reason I got cancer.
So we shouldn't
No.
waiting on something.
Now,
Don't wait.
now, so that's all went through. But that grievance committee unanimous decision from the committee members, that is very therapeutic for me personally, emotionally, everything. So if you have difficulty, don't shy away. Go fight. Lose or win, it all help you if you've gone through that difficult process. And maybe that's why my cancer got cured, right? But no, that's why I got cancer. No, I don't really know exactly why.
So do you do wood carving before you get cancer?
No.
So we need
I-
to do
by the way-
wood carving.
By the way, no, I did working, not carving. I did not know anything about wood carving, but I was very interested in woodworking. For example, we moved into a brand new house. I finished the whole basement myself from scratch, all woodwork. That's what I'm interested in. I was already interested in wood thing. But carving knife, I've never seen it, I never learned it. But when I have those available to me, naturally I can start to carve a fish, an angel, an owl. I guess
did you ever think about carving yourself?
carving, please.
Yourself. Here's a picture of yourself.
I have telling almost friends that after I carve those 2 scientists, maybe it will be the time I carve myself. Facing the mirror, I don't have to have a picture, just look in the mirror and carve. Thank you. Yeah. Carving a face is not difficult at all. Any face, 2 eyes, nose, and but to carve something which like somebody, to look like somebody, well, that's very, very difficult. Very difficult. If I carve a face like this, if I put in this angle, look at it in different angles, the picture I see ought to look like the same person. If not, then it's not the right thing to do. Especially when I carve my wife, can you imagine If it doesn't look like her, she might think, oh, I have a preconceived notion, or some other girls will look at, I'm all the trouble. Yeah, the first thing I carved, that is a preconceived. I try to carve a Santa Claus. In that carving class, with all guys early in time, and I show it to one of them. He said, it looks like Confucius. I said, oh, we carve what we think.
Yeah.
Instead of Santa Claus, it looks like Confucius, Kongzi. Any other question, please? Yes?
At what age did you retire?
Oh, at what age? At that point, when by the way, the story is, the whole school grievance committee passed my tenure application unanimously. But the thing is that the president of the university did not agree. So the whole package of application has to go back to College of Medicine. All right? And that time, I waited for my result. I did not know the unanimous decision of the grievance committee yet. I waited for a couple months. Then suddenly it came. Then I first learned that it's unanimous positive. What I noted was the chairman, it was not signed by the chairman. It was signed by the vice chairman. I was told the chairman, because of the design, he says, we have unanimous decision, and you, the president of the university, still against it. So he just put it off until. So at the age when was that? 50 to about 50 something, early 50s. I did my sabbatical at Vanderbilt University in 1986. So that's 40, about 50. I had a 3-year appointment those days as a research associate professor. Research as well, yeah, 3-year appointment, every 3 years appointment, 3 years, instead of tenure. Yeah.
Any other question? No other question? So if that is, please then start.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed very much. I'm leaving tomorrow morning. I'll be home on the same day because of the difference of 12 hours. We'll be flying to San Francisco and then to Cincinnati, Ohio. Just one stop. In between two cities, of course, it's non-stop. Okay, thank you very much.